When Steve McQueen entered a room, everyone stopped to observe him. It was not just because of his talent in Hollywood or his luxury cars. It was the undeniable presence he emanated. It was the respect he commanded simply by existing. But what exactly made him so respected? What makes some men command instant respect while others are completely ignored? The answer is much deeper than you imagine, and surprisingly has little to do with money, height, or even appearance. There is a reason why you still cannot command respect when you enter a room. And no, it is not because you were not born with it. It is because nobody ever taught you the specific qualities that make a man instantly respected in the modern world. This will change today. Modern masculine elegance is not limited only to the clothes you wear. It manifests in your attitudes, your posture, and mainly in the qualities you cultivate, those that make other men stop to listen to what you have to say, those that make women notice your presence without you having to say a word, and those that make even the most powerful men in the room consider your opinion. But before revealing these qualities, you need to understand why most men will never be able to develop them, no matter how much effort they dedicate. 1. Unwavering integrity, the foundation of respect. Integrity is the quality that most quickly generates genuine respect. In a world where promises are routinely broken and where lies are normalized as small workarounds, a man who keeps his word becomes a valuable rarity. Winston Churchill once said that truth is incontrovertible. Malice may attack it, ignorance may deride it, but in the end, there it is. Truly respected men understand this deeply. They know that their reputation is built on every decision, on every promise kept, on every moment when they choose to do the right thing when no one is looking. This does not mean being inflexible or incapable of adaptation. On the contrary, it means having clear principles and living according to them, even when it is inconvenient. It means saying no when everyone around you is saying yes out of fear or convenience. It means not promising what you cannot fulfill and fulfilling absolutely everything you promise. Lance Armstrong built an empire based on his image of integrity, but when his lies were exposed, everything collapsed. In contrast, men like Warren Buffett built fortunes based on a reputation of absolute integrity. The difference? One lost everything. The other became one of the most respected men in the world. Ordinary men confuse integrity with moral rigidity. Exceptional men know that integrity is, in fact, a form of freedom. When you are known for your word, you do not need to play games. You have nothing to hide. You do not live in fear of being discovered. You are free to be yourself without excuses or explanations. How have you been managing your word? Are you the type of man people believe without questioning, or are you just another whose promises are received with veiled skepticism? The answer to this question will say a lot about the level of respect you command. And make no mistake, the people around you are constantly evaluating your integrity, even when you do not notice. Each time you arrive late for an appointment, each time you break a small promise, you are slowly eroding the respect others have for you. It is like a fine crystal glass. Once cracked, it will never be the same. But the good news is that you can rebuild your integrity. How? By being relentlessly consistent. Start by fulfilling your promises, no matter how small they are. In a short time, you will notice a subtle change in how people treat you. They will begin to take you more seriously, to count on you, to respect you. True integrity is not just about what you do, but about who you are, even when no one is watching. 2. Mastery of self-containment, the power of strategic silence. In an era of instant opinions and impulsive responses, self-containment has become one of the rarest and most respected qualities in a man. I'm not talking about passivity or swallowing your thoughts. I'm talking about the calculated ability to choose your moments, your battles, and your words with surgical precision. Think about great leaders like former President Barack Obama. What made him so respected, even by his political opponents, was not just his eloquence, but his evident self-control. He was rarely seen losing his composure, even under extreme pressure. This quality not only inspired confidence, but also conveyed power. The common man speaks to fill the silence. The respected man knows how to use silence to amplify his words. He understands that every word that comes out of his mouth must have value, must have purpose. He speaks less, but when he speaks, everyone pays attention. Self-containment manifests in all aspects of life, in how you react to provocations, in how you receive criticism, in how you deal with disappointments. The man who explodes at the first sign of opposition demonstrates weakness, not strength. He shows the world that his emotions control him, not the other way around. I have seen countless brilliant men ruin their chances of success because they could not control their tongues or their tempers. An impulsive comment during a meeting, an angry response to an email, an emotional post on social media. In seconds, years of reputation building can collapse. The indisputable truth is that people respect those who demonstrate control. Not control over others, but control over themselves. A man who cannot govern his own impulses will hardly be considered capable of leading others or managing complex situations. This mastery of self-containment extends also to habits. The man who says no to excess, whether in drink, food, spending, or any other indulgence, demonstrates an inner strength that is immediately perceived and respected. This type of silent discipline speaks louder than any external demonstration of strength. It is no coincidence that many of the most powerful and successful men are known for their sobriety, their disciplined routine, and their ability to delay gratification. This ability to resist immediate impulse in favor of long-term results is one of the most distinctive marks of a man who commands genuine respect. How have you been exercising your self-containment? Can you listen to criticism without immediately defending yourself? Can you receive a compliment without minimizing it or without needing to return it right away? Can you remain silent when everyone around you is speaking just to have something to say? Self-containment is not about repressing who you are. It is about expressing yourself at the most effective moment, in the most impactful way. It is about quality, not quantity. It is about precision, not volume, and it is one of the most respected qualities in a man in circles where true power resides. Remember, it is not your shouts that make the world pay attention to you. It is your ability to remain calm when everyone around you is shouting. 3. Indisputable competence, the mastery that commands admiration. In the modern world, few qualities impose more respect than genuine competence. I'm not talking about superficial knowledge or impressive titles. I'm talking about true mastery, deep domain, indisputable competence in something that has real value. David Beckham did not become a legend of world football just for being handsome. He became respected because he dedicated tens of thousands of hours perfecting his skills until reaching a level of competence that few could equal. His ability to take free kicks was so extraordinary that it changed the game itself. Truly respected men in any field are those who master their craft. It does not matter if you are a lawyer, carpenter, doctor, teacher, or entrepreneur. What matters is the level of excellence you achieve. People may disagree with your opinions, may not like your personality, but it is almost impossible not to respect someone who is exceptionally good at what they do. And here is the uncomfortable truth. Competence cannot be faked. You cannot bluff. your way to mastery. There are no shortcuts. Mediocre men look for hacks and tricks to seem competent. Exceptional men dedicate the necessary time to become genuinely competent. Genuine competence requires discomfort. It requires you to face your deficiencies. It requires you to practice not just what you already do well, but especially what you still do poorly. That is why so few men achieve truly respectable levels of competence. Most prefer to remain in the comfort zone of comfortable mediocrity. A man who masters his area becomes indispensable. He does not need to constantly sell himself because his work speaks for him. He does not fear competition because he knows exactly the value he brings. He does not worry about office politics because his competence makes him immune to the small manipulations of the mediocre. Think about the men you respect most. You will notice that they all share this quality. They are exceptionally good at something. It might be in business, in sports, in art, in medicine, in technology. The field matters less than the level of mastery achieved. How is your level of competence? Are you merely adequate at what you do, or are you extraordinary? Do you settle for being good enough, or do you constantly seek to expand your skills? Deepen your knowledge? Refine your technique? The good news is that competence can be developed. No matter where you are now, you can improve. But it requires humility to recognize where you need to improve, discipline to practice deliberately, and patience to persist when results do not come immediately. Competence is not about being perfect at everything. It is about being exceptional at something. It is better to be extraordinary in a specific area than mediocrely competent in several. Focused specialization is the fastest path to the type of competence that commands genuine respect. Remember, in a world of enthusiastic amateurs, the silent master is king, and respect is the natural tribute paid to mastery. 4. Genuine presence. The art of being truly present. In an era of constant distraction, few qualities are as immediately noticeable and deeply respected as the ability to be truly present. I'm not just talking about being physically in a place, but being mentally engaged, emotionally available, and completely attentive to the moment and the people around you. Common men are physically present, but mentally absent. Their eyes wander around the room. Their restless fingers check their phone every few minutes. Their superficial responses reveal that they are only partially listening. They are always divided, always partially elsewhere. In contrast, the man who commands instant respect possesses the rare quality of total presence. When he converses with you, he is really conversing with you. His eyes maintain contact, his body is turned towards you, his questions are specific and reveal genuine understanding. He makes you feel as if you were the only person in the world at that moment. This quality is so rare and so powerful that it can completely transform how you are perceived. Think about the great leaders and public figures you respect. Almost invariably, they possess this quality of focused presence. Bill Clinton, regardless of what one thinks of his politics, was famous for making each person he spoke with feel like the center of the universe at that moment. Genuine presence not only generates respect, but also creates deep connections. People instinctively feel when you are truly present and respond to it. They open up more, trust more, respect more. On a practical level, how do you develop this quality? It starts with awareness. Notice when your mind wanders during conversations. Observe when you are more concerned with thinking about your next speech than really listening. Recognize the physical signs of disengagement in your own behavior. Next, practice the discipline of mindfulness. When you are in a meeting, be really in the meeting. When you are at a dinner, be really at the dinner. When you are conversing with someone, be totally present in that conversation. This means putting the phone aside, not just turned face down. It means asking questions that demonstrate you are really listening. It means waiting for the other person to completely finish their thought before you start speaking. It means resisting the constant temptation to divide your attention. It is shocking how few men master this skill and how it quickly differentiates you from the mass. In a world where everyone is distracted, the fully present man stands out like a beacon. He is immediately perceived as someone different, someone special, someone who deserves attention and respect. Genuine presence also manifests in how you present yourself physically. Your posture, your walk, the firmness of your handshake, the clarity of your voice. All these elements communicate whether you are truly inhabiting your body in the present moment or if you are mentally elsewhere. How is your level of presence? When was the last time you had a conversation without checking your phone? When was the last time you went out to dinner without taking a picture of the food? When was the last time you spent an hour completely absorbed in a single activity without multitasking? Genuine presence is a rare and valuable quality. It is also one that you can consciously develop with deliberate practice, and the dividends in terms of respect that it generates are extraordinary. Remember, your presence is a gift. The way you offer that gift determines much of the respect you receive in return. 5. Authentic elegance, the refinement that transcends fashion. Authentic elegance goes far beyond the clothes you wear. It is a holistic quality that permeates every aspect of how you present yourself to the world. It is the refinement of your tastes, the precision of your words, the grace of your movements, and the discipline of your reactions. Common men confuse elegance with ostentation. They believe that wearing expensive brands or displaying obvious symbols of status is what it means to be elegant. Nothing could be further from the truth. True elegance is subtle. It is recognizable only by those who also possess it. A perfectly fitted suit from an unknown tailor will always look more elegant than a poorly fitted suit with a famous logo. An articulate and insightful conversation will always be more impressive than the display of expensive gadgets. The ability to genuinely appreciate art, literature, music, or gastronomy will always communicate more refinement than the mere ability to pay for exclusive experiences. Authentic elegance manifests in attention to detail. Not just the obvious details, but the small details that most people do not even consciously notice, but that collectively create an impression of exceptionality. It is the perfectly folded pocket square. It is the impeccably polished shoe. It is the precisely maintained haircut. It is the well-cared-for skin. It is the classic watch chosen not for its price, but for its history and craftsmanship. But true elegance goes far beyond appearance. It reflects in how you behave. It is knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. It is knowing how to make everyone around you feel valued. It is understanding the rules of etiquette not as restrictions, but as tools to create social comfort. It is the ability to navigate diverse environments with equal ease, whether a formal dinner or a casual event. A truly elegant man does not need to announce his presence. He is noticed. He does not need to demand respect. He receives it naturally. He does not need to prove his worth. His manner of being communicates it silently. How do you cultivate this authentic elegance? It begins with genuine education, not just formal education, but the constant education of your tastes and sensibilities. Read widely. Expose yourself to different cultures and perspectives. Learn about the history and traditions behind the things you appreciate. Develop informed criteria instead of just following trends or popular opinions. Elegance also requires discipline. Discipline to maintain high standards even when it would be easier to relax them. Discipline to invest in quality instead of quantity. Discipline to reject the mediocre even when it is convenient or socially acceptable. A frequently neglected aspect of elegance is consistency. The truly elegant man maintains his standards in all circumstances. He is not refined only on special occasions. His elegance is an integral part of who he is, not a mask he puts on to impress. Think about the men you consider genuinely elegant. You will notice that there is a consistency in how they present themselves, how they speak, how they behave. It is not a performance. It is a natural expression of who they are. The good news is that elegance can be cultivated. No matter your starting point, you can refine your tastes, improve your behavior, and elevate your presentation. But it requires a commitment to excellence and a willingness to go beyond the common. Remember, true elegance never shouts, it whispers. And those who matter here clearly. 6. Moral courage, the strength of character that defines great men. In a world that increasingly celebrates conformity and penalizes dissent, few qualities command as much respect as moral courage. I'm not talking about bravado or reckless behavior. I'm talking about the willingness to stand up for what is right, even when there is a significant personal cost. Moral courage is what differentiates truly respected men from the merely admired. It is the quality that transforms superficial respect into deep reverence. It is what separated Nelson Mandela from so many other political leaders. It is what made Oskar Schindler risk everything to save lives during the Holocaust. It is what made Edward Snowden sacrifice his security and comfort to expose what he believed was wrong. You do not need to agree with the specific causes of these men to recognize and respect their moral courage. Respect comes not from the specific content of their convictions, but from the strength with which they were willing to defend them in the face of adversity. Common men adjust their opinions to fit the environment. They say what they think others want to hear. They remain silent when they witness behaviors they know are wrong. They prioritize social acceptance above personal integrity. In contrast, the man with moral courage possesses an internal compass that is not easily diverted by external pressures. He does not change his convictions to suit different audiences. He is willing to be the only one in the room to say no. He is willing to risk popularity, opportunities, and even relationships to remain true to his principles. This quality is so rare and so powerful that when found, it immediately elevates a man in the eyes of those around him. Even those who disagree with his positions frequently cannot help but respect his courage. Moral courage manifests in various forms. It is defending a colleague who is being unfairly criticized in a meeting. It is refusing to participate in ethically dubious business practices, even when everyone around you accepts them. It is expressing an unpopular opinion in a respectful but firm manner. It is admitting when you are wrong, even when it would be easier to double down or rationalize. Interestingly, moral courage frequently coexists with genuine humility. Men who possess this quality rarely see themselves as heroes or martyrs. They simply do what they believe is right because they cannot imagine doing otherwise. There is an almost innocent simplicity in this approach that makes it even more powerful and respectable. How do you develop moral courage? It starts with clarity. You need to know what you believe and why. What are your fundamental values? What are your non-negotiable red lines? Without this clarity, it is impossible to demonstrate consistent moral courage. Next comes practice. Moral courage, like any other virtue, strengthens with use. Start with low-risk situations and gradually face bigger challenges. Each time you stand up for what you believe, even in small matters, you strengthen this moral muscle. It is important to note that moral courage does not mean being combative or disrespectful. On the contrary, expressing strong convictions with respect and consideration for others demonstrates an even higher level of character. True moral courage does not seek to antagonize or dominate. It simply refuses to compromise what is right. How is your level of moral courage? Have you ever remained silent when you should have spoken? Have you ever participated in something you knew was wrong because it was easier to agree? Have you ever changed your opinions to fit different groups? Make no mistake, people perceive the presence or absence of this quality in you, even if they never directly mention it. And few signs communicate your character more clearly than your willingness to stand up for what you believe, especially when there is a cost for doing so. Remember, genuine respect cannot be demanded or bought. It needs to be earned, and few qualities earn it faster than the courage to remain true to your principles when tested. 7. Defined purpose. The clear vision that attracts admiration. In a world of improvised lives and nebulous goals, a man with clear purpose stands out instantly. I'm not talking about mere vague ambitions or general desires for success. I'm talking about a defined vision of what you are building, the impact you wish to have, the legacy you wish to leave. Common men live reactively. They respond to circumstances, are carried by the winds of opportunity and convenience. They do what is expected, follow conventional paths, and rarely question the greater purpose of their actions. In the end, their lives are defined more by what happened to them than by what they deliberately created. In contrast, the man who commands genuine respect lives proactively. He does not just respond to the world, he shapes it. He does not just accept opportunities, he creates them. He does not navigate aimlessly. He defines his destination and plots his course toward it, adapting when necessary, but never losing sight of where he is going. Elon Musk may be a polarizing figure, but it is undeniable that he lives with defined purpose. His visions of sustainable transport, clean energy, and space exploration guide each of his actions. Even those who disagree with his methods or personality cannot help but respect the clarity and ambition of his vision. Defined purpose confers a magnetic quality to a man. People are naturally attracted to those who know where they are going. They respect clarity. They admire determination. They are inspired by vision. As writer Antoine de Saint-Exupéry observed, "If you want to build a ship, do not gather men to collect wood, and do not assign tasks and work, but rather teach them to long for the endless immensity of the sea." This quality manifests in various forms. It is the ability to articulate clearly not just what you are doing, but why. It is the consistency of your actions over time, all contributing to a larger vision. It is the discipline to refuse attractive distractions that would divert you from your main path. It is the perseverance in the face of obstacles that would make others give up. The man with defined purpose is naturally more focused, more decisive, and more resilient. He knows which opportunities to accept and which to refuse. He knows which compromises are acceptable and which would compromise his vision. He recovers more quickly from failures because each setback is just a temporary detour, not a definitive defeat. How do you develop this quality? It starts with deep introspection. What are your fundamental values? What do you want your life to represent? What impact do you wish to have? What problems do you feel compelled to solve? What contributions are you uniquely positioned to make? Clarity of purpose does not arise overnight. It often emerges from formative experiences, significant failures, moments of deep insight. But it can be cultivated deliberately through consistent reflection, courageous experimentation, and continuous refinement. Important to note that defined purpose does not mean inflexible rigidity. It means having a clear direction, but being open to adjusting the path. The greatest men in history often refined and even reinvented their purposes as they grew and gained new perspectives. How is your level of purpose? Can you articulate clearly not just your goals, but why they deeply matter to you? Are your daily actions aligned with this greater purpose? Can the people around you feel the driving force behind your decisions and actions? The good news is, that this quality can be developed at any stage of life. It is never too late to define or refine your purpose, and few efforts will yield greater dividends in terms of genuine respect and lasting impact. Remember, mediocre men follow paths, exceptional men create trails, and nothing commands more respect than a man who clearly knows where he is going. And why? The transformative power of qualities that command respect. The qualities we have discussed are not mere accessories to improve your image, they are transformative. When you develop them consistently, they fundamentally change how the world perceives and interacts with you. More importantly, they change how you perceive yourself. The respect these qualities command is not superficial or temporary. It does not depend on your status, wealth, or appearance. It is deep and lasting because it is based on the real substance of who you are, not on the volatile circumstances of your life. Men who embody these qualities receive opportunities that others will never see. They build relationships that others will never experience. They exert influence that others will never have, not because they actively seek these things, but because they naturally gravitate toward men who command genuine respect. Why do so few men develop these qualities? Because they all require something that has become extraordinarily rare in our current culture: consistent self-discipline. They require doing the difficult now to reap the extraordinary later. They require sacrificing immediate comfort for lasting excellence. They require going beyond what is common to achieve what is exceptional.